guys, so if you saw my last video, I am 1 week and 2 days post-op surgery, and so I thought I'd talk a little bit about how my surgery went for my endometriosis, and just even how the recovery is going. So a little backstory in case you don't remember, because I don't remember really the last time I've talked about this. Even in my endometriosis videos, but I went to New York to have surgery, and I live in PA, so I went out of state. I drove 3 hours essentially away, when you include traffic and all that, to have surgery. No one locally was able to give the skill and level of care that I needed, so I had to travel for it. So I've been on this journey since September in the idea of getting surgery. And so for the first, my surgery was January 20th. And pre-surgery, I was pretty miserable because I had to get off all of my meds that I used to manage my endometriosis. And so I was pretty miserable the last 2 weeks before surgery. And so when we got to surgery, I was just so ready. I actually wasn't nervous at all about the surgery. What I was honestly most nervous about was them going in and not seeing anything. Because if you're not familiar with it, but the way endometriosis works is that you can kind of figure out that you have it by symptoms you have, but you can't definitively say you have it until you've had laparoscopic surgery and the doctor goes in and looks for it and can see it. And I had never had that done. I'd had just doctors say after time and time again, sounds like endometriosis, sounds like endometriosis. And so that kind of was a huge fear of mine. It wasn't how surgery was going to go or anything like that. I was just super fearful that he would get in there and not find any, and I don't know what we would have done then. That was that was literally when I woke up out of the anesthesia. The first thing I thought of was, somebody please tell me they found at least something in there. Because even if it was a little, like, I know from my research and everything, that the amount of endometriosis you have does not determine the pain level that you have. Because placement and tons of other things can affect how your endometriosis affects you more than the actual amount of endometriosis you have. So I wasn't concerned about a little even. I just, for my sanity, I needed to know that there was at least some endometriosis in there. And that was actually one of the first things my doctor said to me was that they did find quite a bit, and that they removed my appendix. So everyone's different. A lot of doctors are different, and depending on the level of skill from your surgeon, will also depend on even the type of surgery you have. So there's generally two common types, and it's excision and ablation. And the main difference there is that ablation is burning it and excision is cutting it. And I had excision surgery. That is the kind that is the most successful at removing the endometriosis. I went in and he had told me that was a very good chance that my appendix would be removed if the endometriosis had gone into it at all, that was a common issue. And they did some other bladder things to see how my bladder was. Now, I haven't actually talked to my doctor since the surgery. After the surgery was done, he went out and he talked to my husband and gave him some general forms or just some general ideas of what he found, but then he immediately left, and then I was in recovery at the hospital. So he performed surgery, I think, at 2 or 3 different hospitals, maybe. So that was the one that I was at, and so he wasn't like a resident there or anything like that. He just performed surgery at these hospitals. So I have a 6-week post-op in March that I will get more detailed information from about the surgery. But so as far as what he told my husband, who then told me, there was endo. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Endo on my one ovary. There was endo on my appendix, obviously, so they removed my appendix. There was endo behind my bladder, and then or on my bladder or by my bladder, something like that. And he said my bladder was actually, there was a lot of tissue, like scar tissue and stuff back there too. And then he said there was some between my rectum and my vagina. So I don't know to what extent that is, but kind of the places where I thought it might be, it ended up being because of my pain symptoms and everything. So he found all that. So then my surgery ended up starting at like 12:30 probably. And I think I was done by, oh gosh, was it 1:30 or something like that? 1:32 or something like that. But my husband wasn't able to see me until like 3:30, I think. Sorry, it's really like a big blur that day because I was on general anesthesia, and then I had morphine drip for the pain, and then I woke up from the morphine drip, and that's when my husband came in. And I was still experiencing a fair amount of pain from the surgery, but I was really nauseous, so I couldn't take anything. So they had to give me another morphine drip, which made me fall asleep, and helped the anti-nausea meds to kind of kick in while I was sleeping. So then when I woke up, I was able to take pills, which then didn't knock me out. So I was there until I think at like 7 was when the nurse changeover was, and at that point the night nurse was like, okay, we really need to think about getting you to pee, because that was like the main thing to get me out. Was once I was able to pee, that's when I was able to be discharged. And so I tried standing up, and that was horrible. I tried walking, but I got super nauseous and dizzy, and almost passed out. I think I had like 3 or 4 people holding me up. So because they had to also be careful to not let me drop and be very gentle with me because of all the surgery, I had had. So they had to kind of let me stand there for a minute and get situated, and then they had me sit in a wheelchair, and then I had barely gone any distance, but I just couldn't move. I could not move after I got up. So then after I got my blood sugar back up and everything, and mind you, I had done prep the day before surgery, so Friday was my surgery. Thursday morning at 9 o'clock was the last time I was allowed to eat any food, and then from then on I was only allowed to have clear liquids, and then I had to do a bowel prep. And then at like midnight, I wasn't allowed to have anything to drink after that. So then from midnight to surgery even, I had no drink. So I was extremely, like, not dehydrated per se, but I had nothing in my stomach. So I was super, super weak on top of all of the anesthesia and pain meds I was on. So then it gets to be, I ended up being able to use the bathroom, but still not able to walk. And so they finally got me a wheelchair, and I was wheeled out to the car, and it ended up only being 2.5 hours because it was like 9-10 o'clock at night, I think, when we left. So there was no traffic in New York. So that was a quick ride home, and it was actually not bad at all. I was able to sleep most of the drive. And then when we got home, Christopher had to use like an office desk chair and wheel me through the house to get me to lay down on the couch. And so that was that, and we slept through the night. Pain pills every 4 hours. I was on Oxy and Advil, alternating every 4 hours. And I've heard that some laparoscopic surgeries, they don't do that. I was only on the Oxy for probably 24 to 48 hours post-surgery, and then I didn't need them anymore. And even like at the 36-hour mark, I noticed a huge difference. And I didn't want to keep taking them because they were making me really, really kind of drowsy and sleepy, and I wanted to kind of start recovering, like getting better. So we got home and did all that, and I still couldn't stand the next morning, Saturday morning. I could stand to get into the desk chair to get wheeled to the bathroom when I had to use the bathroom, and that was about it. Going to the bathroom was semi-painful, but nothing horrible. One thing I've noticed in recovery here is that I didn't realize how used to pain I was, so that now I don't register pain as much, and I end up not realizing how much pain I'm in, and then I might push myself a little too far because of it. I figure that would probably happen just the way my body registers pain in general, but I've really noticed it. And I'm trying to be proactive about, like, I keep track of my steps, and I don't listen to my body because I'm not very good at listening to my body. So I look at my steps and I say, okay, this is how I've done so far. I need to not move the rest of the day until I can get to the end of the day or whatever, and then move a little bit more or whatever. So I've been using a step tracker actually to help me with my recovery, because I feel like if I listen to my body, I don't feel certain pains, even if I don't have any pain, because I'm actually not taking a lot of pain meds at this point. And I end up doing myself more damage than good. And I'm not even allowed to sit all day. I must be laying down for most of it. That they said healing will happen better if I'm just letting my stomach and everything kind of lay flat, as opposed to being at an angle where gravity is kind of pulling on things, not allowing it to heal. So that's the other thing, is I can't even, like, sitting out in the main area with my family is technically part of my exercise for the day. And I can't overdo it. I can't sit too much. Showers are a lot of work right now. I actually have not taken a standing shower. I've been sitting yet because I just feel like it would be too much work for me at this point. I think I'm very close. I might be able to today actually get a standing shower. I don't know. It's a lot of work to stand that long, and it takes a long time for me to wash my hair because I have a lot of it. And so the idea of having to stand there that long, it's not that I would be in a lot of pain, it's the amount of energy I would expel from doing that I don't know that I have that yet. And I'm, for my safety, and I get really shaky when I'm weak. And I've kind of done my limit for the day. So that in the shower would not be a good idea. But like the first two baths I had to take, or showers I had to take, my husband had to help me because I couldn't bend, I couldn't reach, I couldn't do it. So he had to help me. So that was, he was the sweetest. He didn't complain at all. It was just kind of humbling to have your husband bathe you. And he's been amazing at taking care of me and, telling me to lay down, and so is my mom. She's been over a lot this past week, and she will actually be over full time starting Monday because my husband has to go back to work. So she will be here helping me with the kids and everything like that, and taking care of me and doing all the housework and everything. So she's going to be super mom here this week. So I would say I started feeling pretty good and was able to walk. I think it was like Saturday night. I was able to finally walk to the bathroom. I actually think I got wheeled to the bathroom and walked back because it wasn't until probably Wednesday or so that I started feeling like I had to use the bathroom. I only ever knew I had to use the bathroom because I felt pain, and I knew that probably meant that I needed to go to the bathroom. And then my pain would resolve. And so it wasn't until probably Tuesday, Wednesday that I started to feel my bladder feeling full type of feeling, sensation. So each day definitely gets better. Sunday, I think I felt alive again. By then, I think all of the anesthesia and the morphine was out of me. And I want to say even I hadn't taken any Percocet that day. I want to say Sunday was like the first day I didn't take any Percocets. I only took Tylenols and Advils. And so I just started feeling more with it. And was able to walk more and things like that. And then from then on, it's just been a lot better. My eating, I am feeling hungry. I haven't felt hungry in months. Pre-surgery, because of the endo blow, I just would not feel hungry ever, and I just ate because I knew I was supposed to, not because I was hungry. So that has been kind of exciting to get that back, and I'm able to eat whatever I want now. It doesn't affect my digestion and my endo or anything like that, and so that's been a definite improvement. And then probably the last thing that has definitely changed is kind of my mood, and my just kind of personality has kind of gone back to what it was. I don't know how long. My husband can probably give you a better idea, but I think I heard him say to someone 4 months. But for a while there, the pain and the effects of endo were so bad that I was just kind of blah and just going through the motions, and there was no life in me. Wow, that's really sad. And so I was just kind of the shell of a person for a long time. And I'm starting to feel happy again, starting to feel like my jovial, joking self again. So it's just really, really cool that that stuff has come back so quickly. The only other thing I'd say, probably at this point, that's the hardest part about the recovery, is just being confined to my room and to my house. I haven't been out of the house in over a week. Um, so that's probably the hardest part at this point. I'll deal with the pain. I mean, shoot, I've had pain my entire life. Um, physical pain, that's not a big deal to me. Whatever, I don't care. But yeah, kind of being, you know, stuck in my room all the time and not able to leave, and I'm not allowed to drive for 3 to 4 weeks post-op, so that's going to be mentally taxing on me. But so I will probably do another update next week on how it's going. If you have any questions, leave them below. I would love to talk. If I forgot anything, if you're wondering how anything went from the surgery or anything like that, and if I feel like I've missed a lot, maybe I'll make another video. But just remember that everyone's surgeries are different, and so my experience is going to be drastically different than other people's. Don't think, if your experience wasn't like mine with surgery, that it wasn't effective or that something was done wrong or anything like that. Everybody is different. Everyone's given different drugs even for these things, and our bodies all react differently. So, but I just thought I would put out how my surgery is going. Lots of people have been asking how it was and how recovery's been, so I thought I would just give you guys an update. Alright, so this is a super long movie, so if you've made it this far, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you all for the next one. Bye.